Okay, so question 1. So we've got a right angle triangle here, and compared to this angle, this side is the opposite and this one is the hypotenuse. And if we put our mnemonic up, so car toa, opposite and hypotenuse means we're using the sine. So the sine of the angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse, which is 18. Now we could use our E activity. So I'm just going to bring in the E activities here. And so we have the sine, and we know the angle is 63. And we know the opposite's what we're trying to find, and the hypotenuse was 18, finding the opposite, and that gives us 16.04. So x is equal to 16.04 meters, and that's part A. Okay, so moving on to part B. Here's the angle. This is the opposite and this is hypotenuse. So once again we're using the sine. The sine of the angle is equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. Once again, we can use the activity. I've made the calculator a bit smaller so we can see it better. And this time we're actually finding the hypotenuse. So let's select that. And we know the opposite is 13 and the angle was 61. And click on solve, and that would give me 14.86. So 14.86 meters. Let's just move the class pad out of the way for a moment. And then we're finding an angle here. And this one is the opposite and this is the adjacent. If we use the mnemonic, so car toa, opposite and adjacent means tan. So the tangent of the angle is equal to the opposite, which is 4, divided by the adjacent, which is 9. And remember, you should always write this line. And we can use the activity. So we want the tangent E activity, and the angle is what we're actually trying to find. The opposite was 4 and the adjacent was 9, and we'll solve on that, and that's 23.96 degrees. We want to find the angle x here. We don't know the side opposite. So what we're going to have to do in the first instance is work out this angle here, which I'll call y. And then we can use the sine rule. So a over sine A is equal to b over sine B. Now the a here would be 13 if this is the big A, so sine y. And then little b would be 10, and big B will be the 50 here. And so we can find y. Again, let's use the activity. Now we're using the sine rule, so we need to get the sine rule activity. And we know that small a was 13. We were working out big A. Small b is 10. And big B is 50. And let's see what that gives us. So I must have put it in the wrong spot. Yes, let's see what I did. And so this one was 13, and I was trying to find that. So that's given me 84.78. So 84.78 degrees. So that's this one here. And so we can find x. I can actually copy that. or I could have just typed it from here. And let's go to main. So we know the three angles add to 180. Take away the 50 we were given. Take away the value I just copied. And that's going to give me 45.22. So that was what x is. And finally, for this one, we've got to work out this angle. Now, that's going to be the cosine rule because we know three sides. So the cosine of the angle is going to be equal to, now remember, this one is A, so this one is A, and then we can call those B and C. So it's going to be 14 squared plus 20 squared. Take away 27 squared, so small a is always this one, all over 2 times 14 times 20, and we'll use the E activity. So I need to go menu, E activity, cosine rule, and we are working out the angle, given that that one is 27, and the other two, and it doesn't matter what order you've got these in, are 14 and 20. So that's 103.74 degrees.